Welcome to the Daily News Network and Legacy of Leaders. I'm Jack Sears, your host. When we get together, we visit with interesting, dynamic, and innovative leaders of business, industry, and nonprofit. And today we have as my guest a very special friend, a friend to this community, Alan Wilson, the Chief Architect at Haskell Corporation. Welcome to the show, Alan.
Good to be here.
Great. Alan, you and I have known each other for a long time, so to kind of get things started, why don't you share with our audience a little bit of your background and what you do at Haskell?
Okay, well, I graduated with a degree in architecture and I moved to Jacksonville in 1987, and I have worked at Haskell ever since, so 36 years. So I've kind of worked my way up the ranks there, and for the last 15 years, I've been chief architect.
That's right.
And my focus in my role at Haskell has always been as a designer. So I've led a lot of design efforts throughout my career for Haskell, and that's kind of the role I play.
You know, many people in this part of the world recognize the Haskell name. In fact, it's a global name. So tell us a little bit about the company.
Well, the company has grown a lot in my time. So when I started there, it was a $100 million a year business.
Right.
And now it is a $2 billion a year business. $2 billion.
$2 billion.
And we had, when I started, we were one office in Jacksonville.
Right.
And we got to a point where we were the largest construction company in the United States. Now we're architecture, engineering, construction, but on the construction side, the largest construction company in the United States that didn't have another office. And then we realized that in order to grow, that we had to kind of branch out. And now we have over 20 offices. We're all over the country. We have an office in Mexico City, and in Southeast Asia, in Malaysia, and the Philippines.
You have a footprint that is global, and in fact, just outside our studio doors is a Haskell project happening right now. So.
I know, that's great. It's sort of like, you know,
all right,
nice to see.
So here's the loaded question for you and I, right? Because I know the answer. So what do you like to do in your spare time?
Well, there's actually a two-part answer to that question.
Yeah.
So the first thing is I love doing creative activities that benefit the community. I do them all the time. I do visioning sessions for churches, nonprofit organizations. I also love doing things with kids. I started out doing coaching soccer for years, doing Indian guides, but as you know, for the last 19 years, I've been Scoutmaster of Troop 2 in Jacksonville.
That is correct.
St. John's Presbyterian Church.
What an outstanding troop, too. Great. Talk about a legacy of leadership in this community. The leaders that have come out of that troop, both youth leaders and adult leaders, have been outstanding. So tell us a little bit about the troop.
Well, the troop was founded in 1911, the year after scouting started in America. It's right. Troop 2 because it was the second troop in Jacksonville. So 1 through, I don't even know how far I number, don't exist anymore, but we still do.
Right.
We've had a lot of great leadership. We have a lot of great leadership now, which is, as you know, is what makes my job as the Scoutmaster easy.
Sure. Because
there's so much talent and commitment on the part of the church, on the part of the people who are participating. A lot of them are do both. They're church members, and it's a joyful thing. It's probably the most joyful thing I do is to support that troop.
So I am familiar with the Troop 2 with my scouting background in this area. So you know, character building, citizenship training, and physical fitness. When parents bring their children to a scout troop, that's what they can expect as part of the curriculum and part of what they're going to get out of it, right? But if we sold it that way, they wouldn't show up.
No.
Tell us some of the things that Troop 2 does, the exciting activities.
Well, I love Lord Baden-Powell, who started scouting, called scouting games with a purpose.
Game with a purpose.
And that, I think, exemplifies what scouting is. So that you have to teach skills and leadership and team building, but you do it in a manner that's fun for the kids, because if you were just to do it in, say, a classroom setting, they would be bored and they wouldn't be interested. So we do, a lot of interesting, exciting outdoor adventures. We do high adventure trips. We've done backpacking trips in Glacier. We go to North Carolina almost every year. This summer, we have a group that's going to sail in the Chesapeake.
Sail in the Chesapeake?
Yes, sir.
From Jacksonville?
Yes. Renting 3 boats and going up there. We do a lot of team building activities, which we think is as important as anything, because innovation and creativity in my business, for example, comes from teamwork. You kind of marshal the forces of all the individuals, and if you can work together, you're much more effective than any individual. So a lot of our activities are really fun. For the kids, it might be, a group holding a wire to try to set a block on a pillar, as simple as that. But the coordination and teamwork, and one of them might be blindfolded giving instructions, and then they switch so everybody gets a turn. And that kind of idea of teamwork and communication is essential in anything we do, and we're trying to teach that in scouting.
So in scouting, we're teaching leadership. At work, you're a leader at Haskell. Alan, you've been a marvelous guest on our show today. We really appreciate you joining us. If a parent wanted to learn more about joining Troop 2 or about scouting, how would they connect with you or with the troop?
So if they wanted to learn generally about scouting, they could just kind of Google scouting, but NFC Scouting is for our council, and if you wanted to know about Troop 2, it's troop2.org with TWO spelled out.
There you go. Well, thank you for being on the show today, and thank you for your legacy of leadership, not only at work for 36 years at Haskell, but with your 19 years as Scoutmaster for Troop 2, a Jacksonville institution. So thank you. Good.
Thank you.
That's it, folks. That's the time we have today for Legacy of Leaders here at the Daily News Network. If you'd like to hear more about Alan's story, about the Boy Scouts, about a lot of other things that are happening in our community, be sure to visit us at thedailynewsnetwork.com. Until we get together next time, I'm Jack Sears, your host, wishing you a great day, much happiness, good health, and be sure to treat each other the way you'd like to be treated.